So you've installed World of Tanks, you've watched the streamers, the unicums showing you how amazing the game is and what you can achieve in the battles. But hold on a minute, there are a few truths that you need to know before deciding to continue with this game. For some of you, the best decision is to uninstall World of Tanks. And I'll go through some of the reasons why. I'll also talk about some of the positives and why some players might want to play this game despite the negative aspects. Before I talk about the negatives of this old tank game that's been around for years now, I'd just like to state that I'm not a unicum player myself. I'm an average mode player who played the game for roughly 10 months. I got quite decent at the game, learnt the mechanics and had some decent battles. But over time those decent games had become less frequent, and it's down to the direction that the developers, Wargaming, wants this game to take. I was getting more and more frustrated with the game, battles resulted in anger, and it got to the point where I was deserting from battles. That means going back to the garage before my tank has been destroyed. I'm going AFK in the game, which is not fair to other players. Although I only did this when my team was disintegrating around me, which I will talk more on in a moment. Most players or ex-players will tell you that the game has become way too pay to win. Most online multiplayers will have this aspect, but it has got to the point where all Wargaming cares about is introducing premium tanks in the game that can be sold for real money or in-game coin which costs money anyway. But the game has become incredibly unbalanced, and I think both new players and old players are leaving the game. It won't be long before World of Tanks is a dying game. Some think it is dying already. Now, the two major negatives of the game is matchmaking and premium ammo. It's all aligned with Wargaming's strategy to make money from the game, but it risks alienating the player base, which is why this game has become so toxic. So with the matchmaking, you'll find that your tank is 2 tiers down often, facing tanks that can do much more damage and has armour that is hard to penetrate. And this is where the premium ammo comes in, because you'll need to fire this to penetrate better armoured tanks 2 tiers above you. You'll find yourself 2 tiers down in the matchmaking the most often. You'll only be top tiered now and again, and I think this is getting rarer. Premium ammo is expensive in the game. Each shell that you fire can cost you over 4,000 credits, whereas a normal AP round or HE shell may only cost hundreds per shell, or perhaps just over 1,000 credits. So the matchmaking makes it hard to get a good performance unless you fire the gold. If you're a free-to-play player who refuses to fire the premium ammo, then good luck, because you will struggle for consistent good performance. And this lack of consistent good performance makes it hard for the free-to-play player to grind up the tech tree and get those really cool top-tier tanks. This is exactly what Wargaming wants, because they are banking on this strategy, driving more players to purchase a premium account to progress quicker. Now, most games will have a strategy to entice players to purchase premium and premium content, but the matchmaking system and the way battlers are going is making this a very scammy and disgusting way about making money from what could be a great game. Now onto the battles. As I said earlier, you'll find teams disintegrating fast whether you're losing or winning. Random battles, which is the main gaming mode in World of Tanks, is 15 players versus 15, but the battle results often finish in a 15-1, 15-2, 15-3 outcome. A very one-sided victory for the winning team. It makes it hard to get a decent performance from your tank. The battles are over quickly. 2 to 3 minutes is quite often for the game time. If you're winning, you're struggling to compete with your teammates to farm the damage. If you're losing, you don't have much time to get your hits in to rack up the damage either. And you can often end up doing nothing in the battle, especially for average players. Unicums can still do well in these situations, but having watched some of their live streams, even they are struggling and complaining. Another contributory factor, which is obvious for the direction that Wargaming want to take with this game, is the introduction of equipment and consumables that increase the speed of tanks, as well as new premium tanks that have good speed as well. Wargaming want quick finishing battles. It means players that are firing more premium ammo and playing high tiers are blowing away credits much quicker, again forcing some players to purchase premium account. High tiers are really disgusting because you lose more credits, shells are even more expensive, and good battle performance doesn't even lead to profits. You're getting punished for good gameplay by losing credits. That really doesn't sit right with a lot of players who moan about this aspect of the game, which is why some players only stick to lower tiers, tier 10 being the top tier. Some players only stick around tiers 5 and 6, which I think is sad, because those players can't experience some of the awesome looking tanks at tier 10, but the gameplay and loss of credits can be so frustrating it is understandable why. Now, onto the subject of premium tanks. Wargaming have really messed up the balance of the game by introducing tanks that can be purchased that are considerably better than free tanks that you can grind in the tech trees. What you are seeing is many of the players doing well in random battles are playing with these premium tanks. Players trying to grind through the free tanks available in the tech tree are struggling. And if you don't get good performance, you don't earn as many credits, or you lose even more credits, and you don't get much XP to research tanks and modules. Again, tough for players to grind and progress in the game. Most of the players racking up the damage will be sweaty players who've played the game for years, or unicums, and that makes it hard for new players to progress, and why I think a lot of newer players like myself, really, only played it for 10 months, will drop out of the game. And another stinker that Wargaming have introduced is not only premium accounts, but a What Plus account that has been introduced for a monthly subscription for more benefits. Again, very pay to win. Now, as I said earlier, these gaming companies need to make money to keep the servers going and to pay the staff, but Wargaming to me have become too corporate. Too many people working at the organisation, not just developers. You've got customer reps, content managers, brand managers, marketing professionals, etc. Whenever a company gets too corporate, I always tend to think that the product or service starts to stink. All of these employees increase the overheads, more money required to cover the costs and keep the company going, and a big reason this game is aggressively marketed. And why there is so many premium tanks and premium content introduced, which seems to be all Wargaming cares about, making more money rather than trying to rebalance this game. Now, some players think this game is beyond rebalancing, and the damage has been done with the premium tanks introduced over the years that they can't nerf or remove because these tanks are what people have paid money for. I expect to see Wargaming continue to aggressively market this game. I personally think they are milking the game for profits as much as possible before the inevitable death of World of Tanks that could have been a great game. Now, for those with large disposable income who like to sink a lot of money into a game, then sure, go ahead. There are positives. The game looks great. It can be fun at times amongst all of the frustration. There are plenty of game modes to suit everyone, from the Battle Royale Steel Hunter to the Brawler mode of Onslaught, and there is Frontline on bigger maps with bigger teams, which is fun and chaotic. So there are a few positives, but for a free-to-play player who has it in mind not to spend a penny, I would avoid this game. And that is what will kill it, because Wargaming needs free-to-play players to fill the servers, otherwise World of Tanks will have long queue times to get into battle. I can see Wargaming filling the servers with bots. Some people say this is already happening, but there is no clear evidence. But there is definitely bots in the game because of the boosting companies, and this could also be contributing to the unbalanced, fast turbo games with one-sided victories. I think that concludes this video. I wanted to put this out there to warn players considering World of Tanks, and also to explain why this game won't be featured on my channel, even though my content is mainly about tanks, military and vehicle games. Please leave comments below with your opinions on World of Tanks, and give this video a like if you agree with my points. Anyway, it's bye bye from me, and I'll see you in the next one.